Today we're going to be looking at the best CrossFit grips. Now it's close to Memorial Day, and so it's a good time to test grips with Murph. Murph is a classic workout and probably the most looked forward to workout of the year. It's special because we do Murph to honor and celebrate the men and women that have given their lives for our freedom. Now, I want to do something a little extra special, so meet Murph Stash. And we're going to be looking at the grips that Victory Grips has to offer. Murph Stash will come back when I actually do Murph. I've been doing CrossFit since 2014, and I've worn some different grips, and some were okay and some were awful. When I first saw Victory Grips in person though, I knew that they were the best built grips out there. You can just look at them and it's obvious, from the strap and the single piece design to everything about them. It really just screams durability and elegance. I didn't realize how much thought and purpose and testing went into the grips though until I had a chance to sit down and talk to the owner and designer and mastermind of Victory Grips, Vic. Vic is the mad scientist slash gymnast slash CrossFitter behind the grip designs, and I was blown away by his passion and his relentless pursuit of making the best grips in the industry. No matter which design or material I used, I like to use chalk. Nothing too crazy, just a good amount. Chalk is awesome. It's a form of art. All right, the different designs have different purposes and the different materials have different benefits. So it's really going to be about finding the right combination of those two things to fit your preference and your needs. One thing that they all have in common though is a basically seamless design and very minimal stitching. There's little extra protection for false grip that increases support, and this is a very big deal for me, no buckles. I hate how other grips have metal buckles that dig into my hand when I use them. It makes these so much more comfortable. All right, so let's look at the materials. The leather grips are 2.2 millimeters. Now, leather is tried and true, but it's also difficult to work with when you're like manufacturing grips. And the texture of the material is inconsistent. I mean, you know, it's actually skin, animal skin. Every pair of these leather grips are measured and matched. That way you never get a pair of grips with any variation in the thickness. Leather grips are super good for raw, uncoated bars. And I actually use raw bars a lot at our gym. I like the way that they feel soft and kind of natural in my hands once they break in a little bit, and they have really good grip on the raw bars. Stealth material. It's 1.75 millimeters thick and feels very natural and minimal. Almost it's like not really having grips on. This was Victory Grips' first material besides leather. They feel really good on your hands if you don't want that extra thickness, and they grip really well on a coated bar with chalk. X2. The X2 has a thickness that starts at 2.2 millimeters and compresses to 1.7 millimeters. X2 is similar to the Stealth material with a little more cushion for your hands. So it's really comfortable. It feels so good against my skin. I really like the way that it feels on the bar. I'd wear these grips all day long, even without like wrist wraps protection under them. This might be the most kind of versatile material, and they're able to have all of the different configuration designs in the X2 material. All right, we'll get into that after we look at this last material. The last material is tactical. The tactical grips took a long time to develop. It's 1.35 millimeters thick, making it the thinnest grip. The palm is a rubber compound, and the part that goes against your skin is woven Kevlar. They are incredibly, incredibly grippy. It's so sticky. It's by far the most grippy pair of grips I have ever worn. The build of each of these is incredibly durable. The palm is a single piece, which is done to avoid sewing and extra seams. Any unnecessary and extra sewing creates weak points in the grip. All right, let's talk about the designs. The different designs are very purposeful. Two finger grips are a more traditional gymnastic grip. They are best for ring work, where you don't want the extra width of the grip to get bunched up in your hand. They're also great for people that already have great hand conditioning. You'll see a lot of games athletes with a gymnastic background wearing two finger grips. I also wear grips anytime there's a lot of kettlebell swings in a workout, but I have the same problem that I have on the rings. The wider grips kind of get bunched up on the sides and it makes grabbing the kettlebell kind of awkward. With two finger grips, that's not a problem at all. These would be perfect for a benchmark workout like Nate. Three finger grips give a little more surface area while still giving you freedom. It's kind of the best of both worlds in a sense. Four finger grips were designed specifically for people that want or need their entire palm covered. For example, if you're a doctor or a nurse or a beautician and you can't really afford to show up to work with a tear on any part of your palm. Now, all of the grips have rectangular finger-shaped holes, and that's so you can quickly take your fingers in and out of the grips when you're transitioning between movements in a workout. Like maybe if there was one gymnastic movement that you want to wear your grips on, and then the rest of the movements, burpees and cleans and other things, you don't really necessarily want to have your fingers in the holes for that. Now you might be thinking, nobody even uses the holes anyways, so why does it matter how many finger holes I have in my grips? And if you're thinking that, I understand, because that's what I thought too. All the grips that I've worn over the years, I've never used the holes. Well, that's because I didn't actually know how to use the finger holes in grips correctly, and because most grips don't use correct sizing, so you couldn't even use them correctly if you wanted to. And the grips that you have are probably too small. You should be using your finger holes to get what gymnasts call a dowel effect, and that increases grip power on the bar. Now, it's way too much to get into here, but I'll have a separate video that you can go to and learn how to correctly size your grips and how to get the most out of them when you're using them in a workout. Then there are the fingerless freedom grips. These are designed for a very specific kind of workout, one where you really don't want to mess with your fingers and the holes at all and just need the minimal amount of material hanging off your wrist. So for instance, let's say you're doing a workout and there are a few bar muscle ups, a barbell movement, and double unders. This would be perfect for that. You're not doing a ton of volume on the gymnastic movements, so you don't need the extra grip advantage of grips with the finger holes, and the shorter palm material is out of the way when you go to do the double unders. Or if you've tried using the 2, the 3, or the 4 finger grips, and they're just not for you and you can't get used to it, then these are the grips you want. Now, the Freedom grips in the X2 material even have this little folding bonus feature that I really love. I love things that I can do in workouts that build anticipation and make me feel awesome. Sometimes when I'm dropping the barbell from overhead while wearing grips, my fingers will catch in one of the holes, and I'm always wondering if it maybe pull my finger off if I had enough weight, which I never do. With these, I don't have that happen because obviously there are no holes. I would also like to use these grips in a workout with a lot of deadlifts. When we did Diane back in for 20.3 in the open, obviously I didn't need the finger holes because I'm not doing any gymnastics movement, only the handstand push-ups. And so these X2 Freedom grips would be perfect for that workout. There are women's grips specifically, and the women's grips are a little more narrow than the men's grips. And the reason for that is that most of the time, if ladies have the same length hand as guys, most of the time it's still narrower. So the women's grips are actually designed specifically for women. Okay, it's time to actually do Murph. So I'm gonna switch to cinematic mode. Okay, too much, back up. Okay, good. That's good. All right. My box can't reopen until the beginning of June, unfortunately, so I'll be doing Murph twice. Good news is that I can try a different pair of grips each time.
You jump the fire, we'll just sit and wait till you see me fly. You know they'll never catch me for it. See me fly, the way I put my finger on it. See me fly, you got it, then try to tell me you got the wrong guy. See me fly, you know they'll never catch me for it. See me fly, the way I put my finger on it. See me fly, you got it, then try to tell me you got the wrong guy. Got the wrong, then try to tell me you got the wrong guy.
I'm very impressed with the grip from these tactical grips. They're super, super sticky, even when I poured water on them. I'll definitely be taking these to any competitions that I do because the coated bars at competitions sometimes are just so slick. And I really, really liked how comfortable the X2s were the second time around. But Murph is such a long, sweaty workout that by the end they were almost soaked and I didn't have as much grip on the bar as I did with the tactical grips. I'll probably wear the X2s for most of the workouts that I do around the gym, but the tactical grips are the best grips from Murph when there's just tons of sweat flying around. Now, I want to keep all of these in my gym bag every day, but if I was going to narrow it down to 3 pairs of grips that I would keep in my bag, it would be the tactical 3-finger grip, the X2 3 fingers, and a pair of the X2 Freedom grips. These are the grips that I would keep in my bag. And also the 2-finger grips. So these are the 3 that I would keep. It's hard to say that one grip is better than another. They're all very purposefully designed for different uses and for different preferences. For example, my wife feels like the women's grips are a little too narrow for her hands. And so she really liked the way that the tactical Freedom grips covered her entire hand. What I do know though is that all of the Victory grips are extremely high quality with loads of thought and testing and passion behind their designs. It's really awesome to see someone that's dedicating so much time and effort and energy into pursuing an excellent product for the CrossFit community. They're leading the industry with their designs and innovation, and I'm excited to see what they'll do in the future because it's going to be a huge step for grips and more. All right, thanks again for watching, and I hope that you found something in the video that was useful. And if not, maybe you were entertained. If you have any questions for me, you can leave them in the comments and reach out to me on Instagram, and please like and subscribe. Thanks again and happy training.